How long have you been working at Westbury?
About 4 or 5 years now.
Yep.
Yeah, I started off in their advertising with the agency, and then I moved across to Westbury about 3 years ago, under full-time under the Westbury banner. My main role is head of marketing, but also as the years have gone on, my roles evolved, so I'm a bit of everything really. Head of marketing, business, internal business manager, and a Russell's assistant. I love animals, so I actually started off breeding my first horse, and unlike most people in the industry, I wasn't born into it.
Yeah.
Knew nothing about the industry, and I bred my first horse, so I had a thoroughbred mare that I was riding at the time, and of course uni and a bit of travel took over and riding took a back seat, so I was sort of deciding what to do with with the mare. And so my granddad, who's a farmer and growing up on the family farm,
Yep.
he said, oh, why don't you look up her race form? And it turns out she'd won a few races.
Oh.
Had the influencer that he is. He said, let's breed a racehorse. So that's sort of where it all started, and I did all the early work, all the wingling and the handling of the horses. I bred 2 that year, as one was a sport horse, and I just really enjoyed the process. So I thought I wanted to learn more about this, and what better way than to go get a job at a stud farm, which happened to be Westbury Stud. So I started off in the yearling prep team. From yearling prep I was interested in the racing side of the industry. So I went, and there's a job at Byerley Park in a ready to run barn. So I've worked for a few trainers over the years, sort of 4 or 5 years working in racing. But then, yeah, I sort of got as far as I could in terms of working with horses, and as much as I love working with them, I just needed to know what else was out there. I think the training side of it and the hands-on is only half of what you see of the industry, so I was quite keen to get out and see what else was out there for me. I did a business degree, not really knowing what I was aiming for. I didn't really have a set path, and horses took over, and so when I made that decision, which was a really hard decision to leave working with the horses, I was just finishing exams, and New Zealand Bloodstock were advertising for a marketing assistant, so I thought I'd try my hand at that, and so I worked there. I did a couple yearling sales, loved my time there. It was really interesting stepping into the other side of the industry and seeing how all the administration works and the marketing of yearlings and sales and things like that, so it was really enjoyable.
And the most important question is, have you still got breeding interests after that initial mare?
Yeah, yes, well that first one was a failed racehorse, unfortunately, but it didn't stop me, so I'm still breeding. I've got a couple 2-year-olds in work at the moment actually, both by our rocker. Got to support the Westbury Stallions. Yeah. And then I've just had a mare foal Tarzino colt, just born a month ago. So, and she is a half sister to Beauty Generation, so quite an exciting pedigree there.
Well, do you breed to race or breed to sell, or what's kind of the objective?
Bit of both. So I'm going to race the 2 rocker horses, colt and a filly, and the Tarzino colt will go to the sales.
Okay. Do you have your own colours, or is it a family thing? Or
No, I'm the only one in the family that's into the horses.
Yeah.
I've got a few acres at home, so I get to come home and look after my own horses, which is nice. Get out of the office and do a bit of farm work. Yeah.
Libby, we've come down the back of the farm to walk amongst the beautiful progeny here of Westbury Stud. Tell me a little bit about how big the farm is.
Emily, the farm down here, the new block is 225 acres, which brings us to about 525 acres for the existing farm and the new farm here.
Wow. And what about horses on site? Do you know how many there are? Hard to keep track?
Oh, it is hard to keep track. Between the Auckland and both Matamata farms, we've just finished foaling. I think we had something about 260 foal, and we've got about 330 mares to get back in foal. So it's a busy season.
Those horses that you have at home, is that your de-stress?
Yes, definitely. It is a bit of a get my mind away from work, while always in work mode to a certain degree, but it is nice. It's come home to your own paddocks and your own horses and do things how you want. When I look back how I've progressed in the industry, coming from not knowing anything, I don't think I'd change anything, which is, I think it's a great attitude to have. And going forward, you know, I'm open to change and opportunities, and you've just got to grab them when you can.
What does the future hold? What would you still like to achieve?
Oh, that's a hard question. I don't have anything immediate plans for the future. I think that you know, a lot of people come into the industry and they think, oh, I've done 5 years, I'm an expert in the industry, but I just don't see it like that. I've now just come over 10 years in this industry, and I feel like I've just laid the foundation and just scraping the surface. So I feel like, yeah, I've got a lot more to come, so we'll see what happens.
What about the best parts of the job?
The best part is definitely the people that you work with. I think, you know, you can go to any job, and if you're not happy with the people, or, you know, if it's not the right culture, it makes it very unhappy to work in. And I think that's most important, is the culture and where you work, and that's something we're very lucky at Westbury. We've got a great team of people, and everyone pitches in, and it's just really nice to be a part of that success that comes from that passion and dedication. I feel very lucky to have found the industry. Obviously I wasn't born into it, and I feel like a lot of people don't know the industry, and I get a lot of non-racing people ask me, you know, when they ask me what I do, and I say I breed and race horses, and they're just in awe, you know, they're fascinated by what I do, and it's just so unknown to people. And I think that's what I love, is opening up the industry to people who don't necessarily know about it. And it's nice to educate people that it's not just about horse racing and betting and gambling. It's so much more, and there's so many people affected directly or indirectly, and that's a nice part about educating people and bringing people into the industry.